Welcome to today's video. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Let's get started.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about spirit animals, okay? Spirit animals, I'm also going to be mentioning about totem animals and a shadow totem animal that you might have, okay? Now this might be very, esoteric for some. However, for others, I think this is a very powerful path because on Primal Sutra, we're leading the pathway towards health and performance shamanism, okay, which is this new field, this new scope, which we're slowly starting to understand. So your spirit animal will basically be on your process towards healing trauma, okay? You healing your trauma and integrating yourself back to your wholeness, back to your centeredness, back to your actualization and your alignment, you will start to notice that there is one animal theme that keeps following you throughout your time as you start healing more and more and more and more. So as you start healing more and more and more, you'll start noticing this animal more and more and more. So it's usually that our spirit animals are there to protect us from the trauma, in a sense. They don't want anything bad to happen to us, and it's almost like our second family. Now the thing with these animals are, you think that they're almost related to you. Earth is the energy of the wolf, the spirit animal of the wolf. It has the totem animal of the eagle and the shadow totem animal of the snake. So it's very important to understand that, first of all, the spirit animal is almost your essence, your spirit, your guide, okay, that's pulling you forward. Don't trust anybody who tells you what your spirit animal is, because this is actually meant to be something you discover yourself, okay? Some guided meditations, sure, you can find your power animal and things like this. However, it's very important for you to understand that you have a very specific animal that represents something. You got to become a master. You got to become beast master, basically, right? You got to know what this animal represents in your life and what it does, what it's there to serve you to do. So whereas your totem animal represents your conscious mind, your shadow totem animal represents your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind. Now you know kind of vaguely about what your totem or your shadow totem animals are. The shadow totem is almost aspects within you that you've repressed or suppressed. It takes on the characteristic of something that you suppress. So the more we can actually see our shadow totem animals and actually look at it properly, then we can start to actually learn from it properly too. Now, this animal may show up in your dreams, okay? These animals will reach out to you, not vice versa. Oftentimes, there are certain animals that we just get a download or an epiphany from that, hey, this is a cool animal or it serves us in some way. But usually, it's like the medicine of that animal kingdom helps us in some sense, okay? So what we truly want in our conscious reality. In our subconscious reality, it's almost the traits that we've repressed or disowned within ourselves. So let's say that you're a control freak. Oh, you put on this air of like, I can do it all myself, independent woman, boss babe, whatever, right? Your shadow totem animal almost becomes like a rhino or something, like going into things, right? Let's say that you're quite active, but you have a fear of being too lazy. Then the shadow totem could be like the sloth. Like, I'm just using logic right here, but you can come to your own conclusion like this. I'm not saying that, you gotta choose something in particular like this. It can honestly be a whole range of different animals, and you can actually split it up to the aquatic realms, and then you can also look at shadow plants and totem plants and, totem crystals, and you can keep going, right? There's no stopping you at this point. But what I really want you to understand is, let's have these animals, and if you're an influencer, by the way, you might have several, animals and guides and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not saying that you have to have a set number either, okay? this is a free-for-all video game where you get to play in multiplayer mode, basically, okay? And you understand that everybody has their own skill sets and they can collect these different Pokemon or whatever, right? Why do I look like I just robbed a liquor store from the 70s? I'm not too sure. This was the vibe today, okay? This was the vibe today. It was rainy outside and I felt like I needed to do something for me. This is the vibe that I chose. A very unique kind of character, huh? Sort of like the guy who can get away with anything in the movie. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of look like. So how do you find your spirit animal, right? Well, humans and animals have constantly been, befriending each other. With cats and dogs, we do this. We also, do this with iguanas and reptiles sometimes too. We keep them as pets, right? We've started to coexist with these animals. However, start to understand that in a spiritual sense, in a spiritual essence, these are the messengers, these are the gatekeepers, right? So whenever you see an animal around you, whether it be a spider or, there's lots of little newts or these little lizard type things here in India, they remind you of something, right? Once I got a shaman telling me that, the lizard or these little house lizards represent you need to become more embodied. You need to get back into your body, okay? And there's different animals that represent these different things, right? Like, for instance, for my one, I used to read Calvin and Hobbes when I was really young, right? It used to be one of my favorite comic books. And from there, I got a stuffed toy tiger, Timbo, who's still up there, actually. He's just chilling up there. I started to see the tiger, and I know the tiger is the heritage of India and Royal Bengal tiger and all this kind of stuff, but that was probably my first tattoo that I got on my back, which was Royal Bengal tiger with a third eye, okay? Suddenly, I don't know why, but this tiger imagery pervaded my consciousness constantly. And I think that's the animal that would have rescued me from any childhood traumas that I had been through. We all go through traumas. We can't really pinpoint them exactly, but we can get close enough to where we can release them and heal them. It's very important to do this kind of change work and healing work, because as you go on this healing journey, you'll start to notice an animal showing up. And a lot of people have reported this to me. I don't know what it is about this, whether it's our own mind playing tricks, but through some of my sessions, my flow state activation sessions, or Flow Sapien, for instance, when you go through the program, you'll start to notice different symbols, different shapes, different animals coming into your consciousness already. So I think it's a way for our minds to get ourselves to heal ourselves and make ourselves feel more complete. That's the whole point of the spirit animal, is it brings your spirit, it reorganizes your spirit back together from the fragmentation of the trauma split, right? A trauma creates a split, like love and freedom, or let's say survival and needs. This core wound stuff, this core trauma stuff really, really impacts us, and we're overlooking this. This is like one of these secret keys to the Matrix, right? To understand our kryptonite and how we can combine our strength with our kryptonite to make us understand this whole totem animal, shadow totem animal, yin-yang, frequency within ourselves. So that's my 2 cents. A lot of this information is also from other shamans, Teal Swan, other videos, other contexts and things like that. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you have any questions, if you want to ask me about anything else regarding this, shoot me a message. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Upward spiral, gang, gang.